that state of lack, then you're in that state of knowing. So the state of knowing is I don't have. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in the state of knowing I don't have, guess what? Your reality creates in I don't have. So you constantly create what you want. You constantly are creating what you don't have, which is a lack, which means you don't get what you want. So you have to learn how to adjust and shift your thinking to the point where now you can stop, think about the things that you really desire and you want. And just because you don't have it in the five sensatory or three-dimensional setting, which is the five sensatory state, see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. Just because it's not sitting in front of you doesn't mean you don't have it. It exists in the fifth dimensional world, which is the heavens. So that's within our mind and within our hearts. That's where God exists. So that's the unknowable God, the immutable source. So as we tap into that energy of knowing in the state of the fifth dimension, then we actually start to feel what it feels like and we claim what we want. And then we literally detach from it in the third dimension because we don't run it anymore. Because we already get the feeling of what we have. And then when you get that feeling of what you have, guess what? You're now in a state of knowing that you have it. So that's what you create in the three-dimensional world. That's the concept of what is above is below and what's below is above.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense? So I'm just kind of giving you some basic stuff to help you to understand how we create our reality. It's pretty simple, but it's so simple that it's complex because we just don't understand what we know. We know what we think, but we always kind of avoid what we know. And a lot of times we know in a state of lack. And if we can remove that state of lack, then the knowing becomes abundant and then everything flows to you. Because whenever you manifest, the biggest key to manifestation is the law of detachment. And that's the biggest secret. However, how do you detach from something when you're using the five senses to look for it?
That's a good question because that's something I was thinking about within the last week. How do you detach yourself from something, someone, anything?
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, it is very hard. So
and I'm an overthinker.
and that can be used for your as an ally. That can be used for helping you, because if you tap into the overthinking, we just got to get you to think in a state of the fifth dimension. So it's thinking and imagining and feeling what it would be like, because when you feel what it's like to already have it or to already be in a certain situation, whether it's attracting something to you or removing something from your life, if you already know what it feels like to be free of what you don't want, then all of a sudden what you don't want just drops away because you now are creating in the fifth dimension. And so you don't even mind it, because all you have to do is, if you're in the third dimension, you see it like, oh, I know there's an immutable force, I know there's a source energy. So I'm just gonna go to source energy and I'm gonna live in this space. And then I don't even care about what's going on in the other space because I know what is above is below. So I'm just gonna live in this space because this space is my reality. And all of a sudden when you believe that and you know that, then the reality comes into this dimension, which is the third dimension. So kind of if you break it down, you got a fifth dimension, which is heavens, third dimension, which is earth. Just kind of an easy way to put it. So the unknowable, fifth dimension, the five sensatory knowing is the third dimension. We just have to understand if we know in the fifth dimension, it's going to come into the third dimension. So if we know what's in the third dimension, it will go into the fifth dimension, which will create havoc in your heavens. And then havoc in your heavens will create havoc on your life. And it goes back and forth.